Hello, everyone. My name is Marion with DTM Real Talk Channel. It's the channel that you can tune into, have the ability to listen to the thoughts of others about topics all over the world that touch every one of our lives. Everybody goes through basically the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through, someone else has already been there. Maybe you can find hope. Maybe it's a pathway that can set you on the right road just by tuning in. So DTM Real Talk, just keeping it real. And if you like it, like us at the bottom, subscribe, and let us know just how we helped you. Just keeping it real. Nothing but love. Welcome to DTM Real Talk. We are just keeping it real. How y'all doing? I hope you had a good week this past week. But my week was amazing. And my special guest for today is Dr. Butler, because we had some questions coming in. Say hi to the good folks out there.
Hey, good to see you guys today. Looking forward to talking with you.
Yes. And I take it you just got out of your appointment, huh?
Oh yeah, had a patient. I've been rolling. Today was pretty busy, but it's been a good day, productive. So that's good.
Very good. I just love your content. I just love the way you connect. And, it's been helping so many people. I get a lot of good feedback. And so, guys, we want to ask a question that came in a couple of days ago. And I hurry up and called Dr. Butler and said, could you answer this question? And he said, yes. So he's jumping on to answer this for us. And let's see, here it is right here. How's my girl doing, by the way?
Oh, she's doing very well. She's actually at the dentist right now.
Oh, don't mention the word, Dennis. Know why? Because
Wow.
I got to get my teeth. I'm
Uh-oh.
telling the world I'm missing teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let me see. Here it is right here. The question is, Dear Dr. Butler, my mother has an addiction and has had it for many years. She wants to live with me, but I have young children. What should I do? And of course, I didn't understand the question in totality. So I contacted her and said, the lady, and said, what kind of addiction is the addiction, her wanting to live with you, or is it what kind of addiction is it? And she said drugs and or alcohol. Mom was an addict and grandparents were also. So she wants to live with this young lady who is her daughter. How does she handle that?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
First, I want to preface this by kind of shaping the expectation of this responsibility.
sure.
There are a lot of actions that we can do that actually shouldn't be actions, they're actually responsibilities. It's weird that driving is not just an action. You don't just go get a license, you have to take on a responsibility. And anytime there's a responsibility, there needs to be training in place. So they force you to learn some stuff and pass a test. They force you to demonstrate your knowledge, right? And they give you time to practice for
Mhm.
so long on a permit until you actually are able to do it.
Right.
Getting married is the same thing. It's a responsibility. And many times we carry out the action of a wedding before learning what is needed to handle that responsibility well. And so
Yeah.
I'm so glad she's asking this question, because trying to mentor someone or work with someone who has strong addictions, especially when it's drugs and alcohol, is very important and can affect not only you, but your family for years and years to come. So I think that there are several categories. And I don't know which category you want to go into first. So the first is I want to talk about, you know, who is actually able to help those who are addicts, because not everyone can help addicts. The second thing is, what is the family dynamic of controlling the environment for addicts? The
Okay.
third one is going to be how to be able to mentor the addictive behavior until it's fully replaced. So I think those are kind of the simple ones that we might want to stick to. And I
Okay.
don't know if you want to do the first one, second, or third one, or take them in
You
tandem.
can do it in the order in which you said, and prayerfully she's listening and we'll get some insight and some help from it. So yeah, go ahead, however you're led.
Well, first, a person is not really eligible to do counseling just because, I mean, I'm sorry, to actually work with the responsibility of an addict just because you want to.
Right.
Addictive behaviors are very, very overbearing and they supersede a person's care for you. Sometimes a person can love you, you can mean the world to them. And when their addiction is acting up, they are still able to rob you
Mm,
or to steal something from you, and sometimes even, yell at you, push you down, or assault you if they're in the throes or the rage of the addiction at the time. And so the people who are able to deal with addiction is going to be a person who has been trained to understand the addiction
mm,
and to also try to prepare themselves for interaction. It's going to be best if they tag team with a substance abuse counselor that's already familiar with coaching people through that, because there are a lot of phases
okay.
there. Did you have a question?
Wow. No, I was just thinking because I'm trying to think about what she said. We actually had a guy to come on last week. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but he was addicted to meth starting at the age of 13. And of course, today I think he's 50 something, but in between that time, he's actually describing what you're saying right now. And the Lord has totally delivered him. He's a pastor today, freeing men. So
Wow.
wonderful thing. But I was
Look at
able to
God.
hear and relate as you were talking. I was thinking about his testimony from last week. Go on.
It is so important, like he was saying, and like you were saying as well. Um, Making sure that we are able to prepare ourselves is a big deal. I
Mm,
see that all the time. People say, "Hey, well, I had a right now we have a large number of grandparents who are raising children that are
yeah,
like far beyond their age, and they're like, well, I love them, so I didn't want to let this happen to them." And the issue is, you might not want a train to get derailed, but standing in front of the train is not going to stop it from being derailed. And so, if a person is not prepared, they actually can do worse damage to themselves, their family, and the person who has the addiction because they are not prepared. So, first thing she's going to want to do is train. Talk to a substance abuse counselor, get training, make sure she knows how to prepare herself, because it's going to be very different from most any other things that you've ever seen. And even though most addictions have a similar pattern in relation to, how the recovery process goes, every person is different. So
right.
that person may respond differently to that addiction than just the normal person. All right. So
Wow.
that's the first one.
Okay.
Um, what you got? You got any questions on that one?
Uh, yeah, I do. I do. Would that still apply for an individual that not necessarily has an addiction, but I guess it is an addiction if they've been in prison for whatever they've been in prison for, and they get out and they have not been acclimated and back into society, and the individual, the family takes that person on. So the family is actually accepting that person's um what am I trying to say? That person's everything they brought with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see y'all on Real Talk, they always, she's always going to show you like the outside of the box way of looking at this. So that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm looking at you, mom. So when you look outside the box, it is so true that folks do the same thing. It does apply to people that are not, because anytime a person has a mindset that
That's
they
the
have
word
been
I was
trained
looking
in.
for. Mindset. That's the word. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, their mind has been set a certain way, and they've been trained to be in a certain environment, get used to a certain schedule, get used to a certain procedure. They've trained themselves to be an inmate for a long time. And
Hmm.
when they get free, the reason why people break away is not because they want to do wrong, but they equate and relate being in prison with this schedule. And so when I leave prison, right, all I know about being out of prison is what I did before I came in. So
Yes.
being free means that to me.
Ah,
And I need a process of transition to where I can take the attributes and principles and all of those things I learned when I was in prison, all the things that are good for me. And I need accountability. I need to be
yes.
coached. I need somebody who understands me for just me. And then I also need vent room. right? I can't be around everybody. They said, well, you can't trust them. They just came from prison. He did that. Well, you have to, because trust has to be earned. But how can they earn trust if you don't give them something to practice their trust on?
Yes, I got you.
You know?
Okay.
So yeah, it's needed. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So preparation, anytime you're bringing someone into your life or your life cycle, is
Mhm.
always needed. The second one is the environment.
Okay.
Environment is everything, right? If someone once told me, right, that I'm my own man, I'm my own woman, who I'm around doesn't change that. I'm still gonna be me. Well,
Mhm.
that sounds good,
Mhm.
but take you and
Mhm.
drop you in the middle of the ocean, and you're not gonna act like you
Right.
anymore because your environment's changed.
Right.
It's different. I know you have on your best attire, and they can take you out of Olin Mills with your hair fixed and your outfit on and drop you right in the middle of the ocean. Oh, you're not gonna care too much about your makeup. You're not gonna care too much about your outfit because you're in survival mode. So
Mhm.
when people are in survival mode, they don't always act like their comfortable selves. So
Right.
the environment that they're in needs to be prepared for that environment. Many people have more relaxation built into their house environment, and it's not a training environment. Training environments have things that remind you to work and to go and to do. And most of our houses in the United States are designed for recreation and relaxation.
Mm.
So if a person is trying to quit drugs, they have to replace that level of urge with something else that's good. They have to obtain the desire to want to change, and they need some training platforms and some habits that will help them change. And the best coaches, they're going to need to make sure they create an environment that makes that person want to do that, that has things around them that show them the results of that change. And
Mm.
that's why in all gyms, no matter what gym you go into, they have mirrors everywhere all the time.
That's right.
They do that because they want you to take a look at yourself over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's the same reason why we go to the Bible study and worship service.
Right.
We look into the word, and it shows us the true us. And
Yes.
it's just a mirror. Nobody's lying to you. Nobody's trying to psych you up to make you think that you're healthy without you working out. What you see is what you get. And whenever you look at something, you say, you know what? I need to change this stomach. So you go and do some more sit-ups. You know what?
I never knew
So
what the mirrors were for, except for, just looking at yourself. But I like that. I like that. It's a reminder to make
yeah.
you change.
So the environment needs to be set up in a certain way. And
Okay.
then there's things that we have in our environment that actually are toxic to their growth. We
Okay.
have we have access to the wrong things. Sometimes we have people that are around them that become a vulnerability. When a person is addicted, you have to find their secondary and tertiary bad habits they have gained because of the addiction. Some people are not, they're not prostitutes. They just started prostitution to pay for the addiction. But because they now are healing from prostitution, I mean healing from the addiction, right? You
Uh,
put them around some people that would be negatively impacted by the prostitution,
yeah.
right? Or makes it easy for her to continue the secondary and tertiary habit. She's not trying to be a prostitute. She don't want to have money for drugs in that way. But now you have an environment where she have right across the street, you see a lot of prostitution. Well, your environment is not conducive to her recovery, so she doesn't need to be in that.
Right. Like that. It's a trigger.
That's right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a trigger. And
Yeah.
then she'll shoot herself in the wrong direction. And then the third one is going to be that independent self-reflection coaching that the person needs individually. And this is hard because you have to have somebody who believes in you more than you're showing that you're believing in yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, we all need that. Normally, mothers have had that for a long time. Fathers have it as well, but fathers are normally more critical. Men are normally more critical and less patient, and mothers are normally more caring about you. And even if you're not being progressive, they care about you. You need someone who can who can care about you without enabling you.
Right.
You know,
Balance. Okay. I hear balance. Okay.
balance it. Yeah. Can you? So you need that. And once a person has those three things, they can make that work, and you can actually mentor someone out of addiction.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot. I hope you're listening, my dear, as well as anybody else. So, in order to deal with this, we're talking about preparation, right? Training, preparation, environment has to be an
Yep.
environment that's conducive, and
And have that personal
independence.
connection.
Yeah,
Yep.
self-reflection. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, that's how you deal with your mom since she wants to live with you. She's on drugs.
Gotta
Thank
deal
you
with it.
so much. So much.
Mm.
I know this is short, guys, but I had to answer the question because it came in and I wanted to make sure I did it. And I wanted to find the right person with the right content, the right information that will be able to assist you in what you're going through. Thank you so much, Dr. Butler. I love you to the moon and back. Y'all, this is DTM Real Talk, and we're just doing what?
Keeping it real, y'all.
Okay, guys, that was short and sweet and compact, straight to the point. Hope you got clarity on that. An addiction is an addiction is an addiction. So, I mean, it comes in many forms. It's actually a compulsive, chronic, either physiological or psychological need for a habit forming substance, a habit forming behavior, or a habit forming activity. It's an addiction. So Dr. Butler broke it down very clear. Hopefully you got some insight. Preparation, how do you handle that? Because mom wants to come and live with you and she has an addiction. Preparation, you have to deal with that. Environment, and also reflection. Independent self-reflection is what he talked about. So go back and look at that, pray and ask God to help you how to deal with it. Actually, while he was talking, another question came in and I'll read it, but I'm going to call him and ask him if he would answer this one for next week. And I do have quite a few relationship questions that's coming through. So I would like for them to be addressed also. But here is the question. It says, obviously, it's a guy. Dear Dr. Butler, I'm a man of faith. My family and I are praying that God moves in a situation that we have, and we should be working together in faith. When I ask for a plan of action, others say that they are waiting on God. How do we balance the difference between waiting on God and working? We need your help. So that's going to be really good too, because sometimes people can't decipher the difference between waiting on God and doing what God has given you the ability to do. So I don't know, Dr. Butler, we are looking forward to hearing you answer this question if you are available. This is DTM. We're just doing what this evening? We are keeping it real, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching DTM Real Talk. Be sure to join us for more conversation. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe while you're there.